The JC Combined Index started the year off on a high note, gaining over 2,000 points in January. 129 stocks traded across the main and junior markets for the month. 60 made gains, 64 lost value, and 5 stayed the same. 485 million shares changed hands on the Jamaican dollar market, valued at $3.3 billion. Now here's a look at some of the highlights for January. The main index gained 1% last month, while the junior and financial markets were down 1%. But the manufacturing and distribution index gained 3%. Wigton was January's most traded stock. It took up 17% of market volume with 86 million shares changing hands. The stock opened February at 92 cents. Trans-Jamaican Highway was the month's second most traded stock. The stock gained 54 cents to open the new month at $3.25. And JMMB 9.5% rounded out January's most traded. The stock's price lost 2 cents to open February at $1.01. Now let's see who had the biggest gains for the month. 138 Student Living Variable Preference soared almost 78% to open February at $203.29. Siboney had the second biggest jump of the month, closing at $1.56. And MFS Capital Partners was January's third biggest gainer. The stock was up 39%, starting February at $2.70. On the losing side now, Radio Jamaica was last month's biggest loser. It lost 27% to open the new month at $1.42. ISP Finance fell 25% to open February at $21.76. And the Lab rounded out the month's biggest losers. The stock fell 23%, closing the month at $1.33. Over on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, the composite index lost 22 points or 2% last month. Massey was the most traded stock of the month. It gained 3 cents to open February at $4.41 TT. Endeavor Holdings was the biggest gainer, up 12%. It opened the new month at $14.75 TT. And on the losing side, Angostura Holdings fell 21% to open February at $17.25 TT. It was also a positive start to the year in the US, with the Dow Jones gaining 3% in January, the S&P 500 gaining almost 6%, and the Nasdaq up almost 8%. At the pumps, gas prices rose 75 cents in January, while the cost of regular diesel increased by $5.28 for the month, and low sulfur diesel went up $4.42. In foreign exchange, overall the Jamaican dollar weakened in January, losing $1.19 against the US dollar to close the month at an average $156.42 to $1 US. Meanwhile, the JMD was unchanged against the Canadian dollar, but weakened against the pound and euro. Finally, on the crypto markets, Bitcoin prices fell 3% over the last 30 days, trading at $42,641 US on Monday, and Ethereum was up 1%, trading at $2,290 US on Monday.